Let's talk about debt, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about debt.
Hi, guys, and welcome back to the Life After Debt podcast. I know for me, this week is super exciting because it is such a blast from the past for me. I have to share this story to kind of enroll you into how this came about. So I was scrolling through Facebook about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I came across a girl that I had gone to high school with that I was so fascinated by her story and her health scare that she had while in Mexico. And so I immediately was enrolled into her entire life and what she was doing now. And I found the more I dug, the more I was like, oh my gosh, we have got to share not just her story, but where she is and what she's doing to help Americans uncover this little gem that she so uncovered in Mexico. So I am super excited to introduce Kenda Ruck, which used to be
Everybody.
Gary. Yes.
Yes, that's right. It was Kenda for a long time, but now it's Kenda Ruck. So it's nice to see you guys all the way from Cabo to Tampa. So it's nice to see you.
Yes.
Nice to see you too.
You also, and I know for me, Kenda, I am just so fascinated and inspired by you and your husband's story of literally going to visit in San Lucas del Cabo
Yeah.
11 years ago.
Yeah. So 11 years ago, we came here on vacation. It was our first time here. And when we came here, we used to travel to Cancun and various other places because it's so easy. You looked at my tent, we jump on a plane and it was so easy. But then we came one time to Cabo and I wish I could explain the feeling when we landed here. It's just like immediately we felt like we were at home. And it was such a unique and peaceful and relaxing feeling. And we just felt at home here. So we are not impulsive people, but we actually came back like 3 months later, stayed again. And during that visit, we bought our first house. Then I'm still blown away by that because we are not impulsive people. My husband, if I ask him how his day was, it takes him like 45 minutes to decide, how his day was. And we just were like, this is home and this is where we want to have. So we bought our first little condo 11 years ago. It was a great instruction. We paid $300,000 for it. And for the next 5 or 6 years, we just went back and forth between Atlanta and Cabo. Anytime we didn't get away, we would come here. And when we weren't using the house, we rented it out as a rental property. And we just fell more and more in love with Cabo. And I don't know if you want me to talk a little bit more about that, but we started noticing that when we were here, I wouldn't get migraines. I wouldn't have insomnia. My husband struggled a little bit with anxiety, and he would have anxiety here. And I also had an autoimmune disease, so I struggled with chronic pain living in Atlanta. And when I would come here, my pain would get better.
Wow.
And then we go back to Atlanta, and then within a day or two, I had a migraine, I had insomnia, I had this chronic pain. He's having all of these problems. And we come back here, and wait a minute, she didn't have a migraine the whole 2 months we were there, or she didn't just flat, or he didn't struggle, or whatever.
Yeah.
And we started kind of just going like, what are we doing? Let's give it an adventure. Let's try it. Let's sell everything we own and give away everything we can't sell and move to Cabo full time and try it for a year.
So was that scary though? Because I know you have kids too. You guys have kids here in the States, and the thought of, eliminating everything. First of all, it sounds like a dream, right? Just hit the reset button.
It was the most amazing experience. It was stressful. It was emotional, but I began this process for me of letting go. And I think letting go is the theme of what you have to be able to do something like we did. And you're letting go of things that you're trying to hold on to, and you're letting go of the bad as well. And realizing you don't have to stay stuck in that. And we did have adult children. They all had their own homes and jobs and partners, and we had a lot of conversations with them, like, are you guys okay with this? And they wanted us to be able to experience this dream because they knew how healthy and happy we were in Cabo as well. And I think selfishly they like to have a free vacation place to go to every year. So they really tapped into that. But to go through every single item that you have, we have a very large house, 6,500 plus square feet, and to go through everything that you have and downsize it to an 8x8 storage unit and choose good cases, you know, there's something really magical about it. It is hard and it takes a certain constitution, but it was amazing. And we were able to pay off every single debt that we had. And now come here to Cabo. Cabo is cash market. Everybody pays cash for their homes here. So to live with zero debt has been such a relaxing and amazing and refreshing experience. And just to hit the reset and start fresh, it's been incredible.
Wow. I mean, honestly, hearing you say that makes me want to go start going through every room in the house because I can so relate with what you're saying. We visit One and Only down in Cabo all the time. It's one of our favorite places. And I've always said, like, I would move there. It's so awesome. And then on the flip side of it, being in the States, we hear all this negativity of Mexico and we see all these people fleeing Mexico and coming into the US thinking that there's greener pastures over on this side. But I'm so fascinated because even a couple weeks ago, wasn't it? We were in the car with our driver in Vail and we had said, what do you miss the most about Mexico? And I was blown away by his answer because he turned his head and he looked back and he goes, freedom. And I said, what? Like, we've been told like it's so bad in Mexico and things are so dangerous and, there's no money. And he's like, freedom is what I miss. I thought
His exact words was, in Mexico, I'm free. And it's like the exact opposite of everything we kind of have been taught about Mexico. He says you wake up, and he lived on a ranch in Mexico. So it was like the word that stuck out was just, in Mexico, I'm free. And
how did that feel when you got hit with that? Like juxtaposition on what you already believe and what you think. How did that feel to you?
honestly, that's when I just kind of looked at Ryan because Ryan has always said, I feel like we're just totally fed whatever they want to tell us to keep us in this place here. And hearing that from him and his perspective of what Americans, he said, I come over here and all we do is work. We're like on a hamster wheel. We just work. Like that's all that's here. And we just kind of looked at each other, which, you've always felt.
Yeah, I mean, for me, when he said it, it just rang true because I know I recognized it as truth. That to go to another country is breaking the wheel. And here in this country, we're in a wheel, and the people that come here, they come here for a purpose, generally to work for a season, to make money. We have a couple in Costa Rica that are they're Ticos, they're locals, and they moved to the United States for a season to make money, and then they took that money back to Costa Rica, and now they have a great little cafe right on Dominical Beach that they've owned for 20 years. And, so they came here for a purpose, to get on the wheel for a season. But, I think that for me, it just rang true. Yeah, this is not freedom. And it's funny that they sell the freedom, but it's just like, you don't really know true freedom until you break the wheel.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And I have friends who are Mexicans here who have at times gone to the United States to make money. Sometimes to go make relocate the person who goes, make some money, do the rat race, and then come back and live their lives the way that they really choose to live. And the culture is incredibly rich here. Family life is incredibly rich here. And the pace is slow. And people don't care about having the things that you are fed in the United States. And for me, Ryan, one of the things that when I do watch US television about Mexico, I feel I feel so sad that the general culture is taught to be afraid all the time.
Mhm.
Because I think fear keeps people really paralyzed.
Yeah.
And so they think, well, you should be afraid of that. And
Mhm.
everybody's trying to get out. And some of that is true. There are good areas and bad areas no matter where you go.
Right.
And there are areas that struggle no matter where you go in the world.
Mhm.
But for the most part, it's not like that here. And I have been all over Mexico. And yes, there are places that people are more oppressed and financially struggling. But the opportunity here is also amazing. And the culture, the Mexican culture is that they love helping people. They're a helping culture. They're a collectivist culture. They want everybody to do well. They want to help, and they want to enjoy their life. They want to enjoy their family. They want you to be a part of their family, and it's just beautiful.
I have so much I could talk to you about right now on this subject. But one thing I bet a lot of our viewers are going to wonder after you opened this can of worms about the difference in the way you guys felt health-wise when you got there. Have you been able to qualify or quantify what the root and stem of that difference in your physical well-being was?
I've processed that a lot over the past years. And I will tell you, when I lived in the States, I was on some serious medication. I had to get blood work every 3 months to make sure my body wasn't shutting down. I was on some bad stuff. I'm off
Mhm.
of everything here. As I
Wow.
say, people, I won't take any medication. I'm off of everything here. And is it psychosomatic? I don't know, because in the States, you're expected. You do pain, you go to the doctor and get medicine. And then it just has to go off. And here, it's more about enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the lifestyle. I think it is a combination of factors. I think it's the slower lifestyle. Raw
Stress.
foods are not like processed foods here. Everything is more like we are just now starting to get fast food places here. Like you can't
No.
just turn me to the drive-through and grab a fried whatever. Like if you're
Right.
gonna have food, you have to go to a restaurant, sit down,
Mhm.
and it's prepared. There aren't a lot of pesticides. Everything's organic. You go to the farmer's market, and that's where you get your foods. So I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
I think being close to the ocean and close to the water, and then the combination of like 350 days of sunshine. I think it's a combination of all of
Environmental
those factors.
factors, food quality, quality of life with respect to stress, and all of that together it truly is like a wellness cocktail.
Yes.
I can see Ryan packing his bags as we're talking. Mentally
We don't
going
have
on
to sell
vacation.
me. I'm already sold.
It
So,
really is. It really is such a different life here. It really is a
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful life.
and not only did you guys go and create passive income with purchasing a rental down there, which I think I remember you saying it's a cash market. So when people go down there from the US, and they're looking to plant a seed, you went down, you planted a seed, you guys spent time there, drove passive income, which is phenomenal. And then you sold everything, and like the ultimate entrepreneurial move in my opinion is literally saying, you know what, who knows what we're going to do down there, we're just going to figure it out. And you guys took 2 suitcases, you left, you go down, you've created this real estate company now, which is so amazing to me because you're able to almost give that gift back to everyone else, and share with them your living proof you did it.
That is exactly why I do what I do. I want to dispel the myths. I want to dispel the fear. I want people to know, hey, I'm a normal, regular person, and I did it. And the other thing, Amber, that's really interesting is there are so many of me's here. There are so many people who come here on vacation and they fall in love with it. They come back and they sell everything that they have in the United States or in Canada. It's happening from Canada as well. and they just come here and like, I'm bringing my whole family, like I have to be a part of this place. I hear that story all the time here. It's not an uncommon story. And I haven't met people, as a matter of fact, the person who bought the home that we bought first, who bought it from us when we sold it, they had never even, like they had a place to live. They had nothing. They just sold everything in Canada and moved down here and decided we'll find a house when we get there. And they bought our home. So it was kind of like a big forward statement. This is a starter home for people who are adventurous and have the spirit of adventure. And I think that's another reason why we connect so well with people here, is that pretty much everybody who lives here has that adventurous spirit, has that bravery, has that willingness to come and like totally unknown, and that self-confidence to know, hey, I don't know what's going to happen, but whatever does, I can handle it. And so we all have that shared personality trait, of that shared spark. I don't know how to say it, but you can meet and connect with people so fast here because people have time. They're not on the hamster wheel, and they have that entrepreneurial spirit, that spirit of trying new things, and the wandering spirit. So I think you can really connect very easily with people, and we have an incredible community of friends here.
You know, the first time we went to Cabo was 2007. It was for a work-related rewards trip, and we stayed in this mansion overlooking the marina in Cabo San Lucas. And then the last time we went was a couple years ago, and I was floored by the growth. I mean, not just the growth from a development perspective, but the growth of the commerce environment. I mean, the number of restaurants, the quality of restaurants, the markets. It was like, what has happened here? And it hasn't even been 20-year duration. And we did go back more times during that time span, but we would just go to One and Only, and we were in that little bubble. But when we would go outside of One and Only, I was just shocked. I can't believe it. So maybe you can speak to the growth you've experienced and seen there with respect to real estate, what that market has done, because from an outsider's perspective, it looks pretty explosive over the last probably 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's, we had a similar experience in 2008, 2009. Where the market kind of crashed, and it was more a reflection of the fact that people in the United States didn't have the liquid funds to come buy properties here, so the property kind of went stagnant. And then starting in about 2013, we started to see a pretty significant growth pattern, and we started to see developers coming in and building these beautiful developments and these beautiful hotels and resorts. And we started to see this elevation, and we were hearing rumors that Mexico was putting a lot into the infrastructure. And Apollo had visited and knew that Apollo was the next big place to be. Like, they redid the airport, everything. And then fast forward a few years, COVID hit. And when COVID hit, something really unique happened here, because we didn't have a lot of COVID numbers. We had very low COVID numbers here. As a matter of fact, I've never had COVID, and a lot of people I know have never had it. Because we have sunshine, and we have, it's just different here.
Yeah.
So when COVID hit, for the first few months, it was really slow here. And then all of a sudden, people started coming here.
Yeah.
They realized that they were going home, they could school from home, they could do whatever they wanted and not have to go. And the rat race in the United States stopped.
Right.
And people were like, wait a minute, I'm not on this hamster wheel anymore. Let me look around a little bit, because I'm not trying to keep going. Let me look around and see what I can find. And they started coming slow because our numbers were so low. And that's when the boom happens. That's when the explosive growth happens. We had such a supply and demand reversal that we had so little supply and so much demand that it drove the prices at least double, in some cases triple what they were before COVID.
Nice
And so
return.
that is where the biggest jump in the market has happened. I'm noticing over the past maybe 6 months, maybe a year, I'm noticing that there is a leveling off of the trajectory of this steep incline that we were seeing in the prices. And I'm noticing that in certain areas, they are leveling off. I live in San Jose del Cabo, and San Jose del Cabo, we had a 104 business ratio for purchases. Like people would list as high as they could, and they'd be outbid and sell in a day, and they would get 104% of their asking price. Now we're looking at more of like a 95% sale to list ratio, so it's leveling. You know, the average price like Paul in San Jose last year was like 2 million. Now it's a million one, something like that. I think the reason is because there are more mid-price properties coming on the market now. And not so many high-end properties coming on the market. But I think the other reason is that it's leveling a little bit. Like that cash market.
Yeah.
And so when we struggle with interest rates in the US and we don't have that problem here. So people who come here are financially, how would you say, financially solvent. They have the money and they are putting it here because they are seeing much more of an increase in their dollar than they do in this stock market, in the United States. It's a safer bet here than it is in the stock market.
It's such a brilliant play too, just to have money outside of the US with the unknowns here. And so you guys have proven it works. And not only that, you've gone down there and launched a successful business, which congratulations to that. So you're doing Finn Real Estate, is that correct?
Yes, I am a founding partner in Finn Real Estate Group. We are a high-end luxury real estate brokerage, but we still will help people at all. Wherever you want to start, we can help you. But my passion is really to educate people about what buying a property here is like and make it a smooth transition, because it is scary the first time you buy property in a foreign country. It is scary. It's a little bit different. It looks different.
Yeah.
But I understand it. I've got you. I know what I'm doing. My team knows what they're doing, and we'll walk you through it step by step and help you, whether you are buying or selling, or you're buying a rental property, how to look for properties that have rental income, or you have a property that's just your personal place to go and retreat and refuel and get healthy and get off the hamster wheel. We can help you find that as well.
And then do you also have internal people that can manage rentals for people who are in the States, or do you know of companies that you can connect our viewers with when they're purchasing properties with you, so that way they know, hey, not only can we purchase it from her, but she can connect us with the right people to manage it while we're away?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We have people, my brokerage specializes in buying and selling, but I have so many amazing contacts. A lot of the people that I work with are expats as well. And they know the system, and they pay bills for you when they manage your check-ins, check-outs, and just make it a seamless and easy process for you. You block off the days that you want to come down and stay, and then the rest of the time they manage your rentals for you. So it's
so exciting, so adventurous.
It is.
And I know you recently, and I think this is such an important topic because of what you personally experienced around your health care scare there, but more importantly, what you saw in return to how quickly you were taken care of and how well you were taken care of. And I think this is such a big deal because, I know for me, for a long time, I thought, oh, do they even have doctors down there? Do they have medical care? What would I do if I got sick and we're on vacation? But could you share with us a little bit about your overall experience and your takeaway with what you walked through while in Mexico?
Yeah, I have to tell you that I hear that a lot. Like, what's the healthcare like there? And anybody who has an experience with the healthcare in Mexico and Cabo specifically, um, will tell you that it is so far advanced for what we would get in the United States and at a fraction of the price. I recently was hit with a triple doozy. I had something called C. diff, which is a bacterial a colitis infection. I had salmonella. I also had sepsis. So the infection had gotten so bad that it went through my entire body. And it was during a hurricane, of course. So I didn't go to the doctor when I first started feeling sick. Then I'm kind of like, have to go to the doctor, but I waited too long. That was my fault. I don't know why, but we went to the hospital. We went to H plus and at the little hospital here, and we went and I walked in, and honestly, within 30 minutes, I had blood work, I had seen a doctor, I had an IV, I had a CAT scan, I had like everything that you can imagine that you would need to diagnose a problem. I had it within 30 minutes of walking.
Yeah.
And, I know in my experience in the States, I took his son that month, and he had appendicitis, came to find out his appendix was ruptured. But we sat in the emergency room while he laid on the floor and writhed in pain for 6 hours. And if I happened to do that in this situation, I might not have survived. I have had the doctor tell me so said, Kenda, you were this close. You were this close. But because they acted so quickly and because they cared so much, they were able to save my life. And I was in the hospital for a week. I was in a critical care section of the hospital. And I say on my video that when you push that little button, in the States, like, hopefully somebody will come to help you within the next, couple of hours. But here, when I pushed that little button that I needed help, the nurse was in there within a minute. And I was like, oh my gosh, if I push this button, like, the nurse comes, right? That doesn't happen in the United States. And I understand they're busy, they're overwhelmed, I get it. But the care and my doctor just texting me back and forth throughout the day, coming to see me, coming in, pulling over chairs together, talking. It was unlike anything I've ever experienced. And it was so validating. And I knew that I was in good hands. I knew they were going to take incredible care of me. And my doctor still texts me to this day. It happened in October. Texts me directly. How are you feeling? Have you had any, problems? Let me know how you're doing. That is like, does that happen in the US? Have you ever been able to message directly to your doctor when you have a question or it's
No.
It's like that, whether it's your orthopedic doctor or your general practitioner or your veterinarian. But I have all of my doctors on my phone that I'm WhatsApp them when I have a problem. And it's incredible.
That's enough reason for a lot of people to leave just for that reason. I know we have family that we were just talking to last week that sat in a hospital room for days before the doctor even came in.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, it was right about the time that your video posted. I feel like I know that story as well as you do now, because when I watched that video, and I've told it so many times since then that I have it like memorized. I would encourage anyone, if you want to hear the full testimonial of what happened in that hospital, to watch Kenda's video, because it was riveting. And at the same time, my aunt was in an emergency room here in Florida with chest pains after she had failed a stress test. They didn't get to the stress test until day 2. And then they didn't get her in for a heart cath for 4 days. And she wasn't even in the heart unit. They had her in a hallway because they've created pseudo ER rooms now in the hallway with curtains around you. And then I hear your testimony and I'm like, what is wrong with this picture? And I the same thing when we go to Costa Rica, the healthcare down there is just unbelievable. We took Finley in for a stomach problem in Costa Rica, and the doctor spent an hour with us, just one-on-one, until he got to the bottom of it. I'm like, what is this? What is this type of medicine?
Yeah.
So I fully align with you, and I just we're super grateful that you had the care you did, and it's a great story. But once again, I think we've been sold a little bit of a bill of goods on medical care in other countries, because it looks quite different, in a lot of cases better than it does here.
Yes, and the other thing is, if you don't have insurance in the United States and you have an event like that, it's catastrophic.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
it's catastrophic financially. And after being in that critical state and being in the hospital for a week and having multiple doctors and heart doctors and multiple levels of care, it was under $2,000 for us. And that's not even, I don't even want to imagine what your aunt had, what her medical bills.
right.
Well, we see it all the time with people, who call us with their debt and how much medical debt people carry here in the States. And it's sad. It's crippling. It really keeps people bound to the system. And so I'm just so excited to share you with our audience, Kenda. And I know if people want to reach out to you, and I really want to encourage our listeners too, like if you're thinking of investing, go outside of the walls of the US, get with Kenda, get with one of our team, someone on our team at the Life After Debt team, and we can connect you with her if you can't reach her. Also, we have opportunities in Costa Rica that Ryan personally spearheads. So go somewhere, but diversify outside of the US. And Kenda, what's the best way people can get in contact with you and keep up with you? Because I know we love it and we love to see everything that's happening there.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I have a couple of different channels, and one of the challenges of living here is that it's hard to find things to shop for, So, Amber, I know you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
It's a little challenging. So I have a YouTube channel called Kenda's Cabo Closet, and it talks about how we shop and how we kind of live and how we do things here in Cabo. But my main channel on YouTube is called At Home in Cabo. And at Home in Cabo, I do share a lot of statistics. I share information about how to buy and sell, what it looks like to own property here, and kind of what's going on in this market here. So that's At Home in Cabo. And then if you want to email me, I would love to hear from you. You can email me at Kenda at Finn, Finn .group, Kenda@fin.group, and it's Kenda, not Kenda, Kenda, at fin.group. And you can also check me out on Facebook. I have Kenda's Cabo Realty on Facebook. So I'd love to talk to you. And even if you just say hello, that would be so great. I would love to talk to your listeners and to your audience. I made that connection with your group.
Yeah, I'm excited for people to experience it and to connect with you. So thank you so much for making this happen today and being a guest on the show. We loved having you and hearing all about it. And next time we're down there, we'll have to connect with you and your husband.
100%. Absolutely. And it was my pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right. We'll talk soon.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye.